Shabbat Shalom. I'm Rabbi Michael Panitz from Temple Israel of Norfolk, and I'm happy to share with you a message close to Israel's 77th Yom HaAtzmaut, Independence Day anniversary. This year, the anniversary takes place in the midst of our worldwide struggle with the COVID-19 pandemic. But just yesterday, which was Wednesday the 29th, we received good news, or at least a glimmer of good news, from Dr. Anthony Fauci, the head doctor in the American attempt to combat the virus, that progress on a particular treatment, which may even result in a vaccine, is moving forward. So in my message today, I want to bring together two facts. First, Israel's devotion to scientific research, and secondly, the application of that research to our struggle against this pandemic. I recommend that you look at an article published in the website No Camels, which is Israel Innovation News. An article from yesterday, Independence Day, 72 Israeli technologies fighting COVID-19. And those 72 indeed are not all of the technological breakthroughs, but they cover the waterfront. They include advances in remote healthcare and patient monitoring, in diagnostics, testing, screening, and support, in treatment, and I'll stop here and give you one specific. The Migvax, a newly formed Israeli company, is based on the research by scientists at the Migal Galilee Research Institute, and it has announced successful development of a vaccine for one of the deadly coronaviruses that affect poultry, and now it's seeking to adapt that to use for humans. Moving on, there are other areas of advance. Israeli companies are leading in the effort to find ways to enhance our protection and our prevention in critical care technology, in mental health and general well-being, in digital tools and mobility services. And these are not all of the areas where Israeli technology is helping us to have a healthier tomorrow. Let's go back in time now and explore a little bit about the roots of the devotion to scientific breakthrough in the Society of Israel. I'd like to show you a lovely old book published in Berlin in the year 1796. The book is called Sefer Kilil HaCheshbon, the book of the diadem of mathematics. So here's the book, and here's the title page. Notice that it talks about algebra and trigonometry and the other aspects of modern mathematics. Now, the book is written in Hebrew, and the equations are in scientific notation, but in Hebrew. What does this book attest to? Consider that in the 1790s, the Jewish people of Germany were just beginning to leave the ghetto. They were just beginning to realize that in order to be part of a modern Western society, they needed to master the curriculum of study that Western children are exposed to. And that includes STEM, the hard sciences, mathematics. They didn't yet speak German or the other vernacular languages of Europe. So they wrote their math books in Hebrew. Within a generation, this would not be found again, and the textbooks for general studies would be written in English or French or German or the language of the country where the Jews were living. This kind of book was not to be published again until the state of Israel arose. Now let's take one more jump back, this time to the formative years of our Jewish tradition, because now we can put it together. Now we can understand what is it about Judaism that makes us as a religion quite willing to study the secular discipline of the sciences. Now, it is true there are some ultra-Orthodox sects, Haredim they're called, who do not give adequate attention to secular studies. Although even in those enclaves, more and more of the children are recognizing that they need to be educated in such a way as to play a productive role in a modern, industrialized, scientific society. Because Judaism in general is quite comfortable with this. We do not have a notion that, for example, because it says that God created the world in 6 days, that modern geology or secular astronomy have to be wrong. We don't assume that if we can learn the half-life of uranium, which leads to a thought that our Earth is 4.5 billion years old, that biblical chronology is somehow threatened by science. No, rather, we have the notion that the Bible often teaches us poetically and not prosaically. So, science is the language of prose. Science has to deal with the facts. The Bible and the other beautiful texts in our religion deal with the human heart so that we can be led to be the best people we could possibly be. You've heard the slogan that a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Consider also that a mind is a gift from God. So a mind is also an ungodly thing to waste. I urge us all, honor God by practicing a kind of faith that respects the great gift that God has given us, and using those minds in disciplined way to heal us, to protect us, and to make a better tomorrow. Amen.